We're in our linear functions booklet, page 20. At the top of your page, go ahead and write down any questions that you may have about this page. Graphing by hand, equations and inequalities. Our first equation is y equals x plus 4. Our second equation, y equals 2x minus 1. What we need to find is where the lines intersect. That would be the solution to our system. So, let's go ahead and make a table. Let's input x values. When x is negative 3, let's figure out what the first equation will be. So you basically have f of negative 3 equals negative 3 plus 4. Well, 4 minus 3 is 1. In the second equation, if we have f of negative 3, that would equal 2 times negative 3 minus 1. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and then plus negative 1 would be negative 7. Alright, the next one we have a negative 2. We're going to plug that in for x. So we have negative 2 plus 4. And negative 2 plus 4 is going to be 2. Two times negative 2 minus 1 is negative 4 minus 1, which is negative 5. Go ahead and pause the video, find the next 3 numbers, negative 1, 0, and 1, if you input those values. Here are our answers. We have 3, 4, 5, and negative 3, negative 1, positive 2. Notice a pattern here. Our change in the second y, you're adding 2 each time. On this y, you're adding 1 each time. So if we look at that pattern, we don't have to show every step here. Identify the pattern and move on. 5 plus 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Double check to make sure that the x's didn't skip though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They did not skip. If you add 2 each time to this, 1 plus 2 is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. From here, we're going to graph our points. So we have negative 3, comma 1. So that's a point. Okay, negative 2, comma 2. Negative 1, comma 3. If you connect them, you get a line like this. Let's plot the other points. So negative 3, comma negative 7. Negative 2, comma negative 5. Negative 1, comma negative 3. And so on. And then you have a line that looks like this. This would be our y2 graph. So where is the intersection of this? Right here. This is where they cross paths. This is where they intersect. So if we label that point, we have 5, 9. Notice that the y values are the same here. That would be our solution. 5, 9. When x equals 5, y will equal 9 for both of the y lines. Let's find an intersection from a table. To do that, we're going to see where the y is the same. Let's look. When x is -2, y is -2 on this one, and -32 on this one. Those are not the same number. When x is -1, y is -4. Well, -4 is not the same thing as -24. These are not the same. These look the same. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, that's not the same. -12 is not the same as 8. And these are not the same either. So our intersection is 1, -8. So when x equals 1, the y will be -8 for both lines. Let's write inequalities from a given graph. Let's just call this line inequality 1. Let's call this line inequality 2. And this one 3. If we look at this line right here, it's decreasing. So that means we have a negative slope. It goes upward, leftward. So its rise over run is just 1 over 1. Since it's decreasing, it's negative. So we have y and then negative x. Now to figure out if it's a greater than or less than symbol, let's check a point. Let's use this point right here, 1, 1. So is 1 what to -1? Greater or less than? It should be greater. Since this is a solid line, we're going to put a line underneath the greater than symbol. Let's look at the second line. This is a horizontal line. Remember, horizontal lines have a slope of 0. There's no x's there. So y will always equal 2 on this. Now, is 1 less than or greater than 2? 1 is less than 2. So you would have y is less than 2. It is a dashed line, so we do not have a line underneath. Let's look at inequality 3. It is a vertical line, and vertical lines have no slope and no y's. So we just have an x. And x will be 1, 2. 2. It's always going to be 2. Let's do our test point. 1 is what to 2? Less than or equal, or less than or greater than? It's less than. So these are our 3 inequalities given the graph. At the bottom of your page, go ahead and write a summary summarizing this page 20.